morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we've got some news that we need to be chatting about, some new things that are going on in the world of Pokemon. So let's start off having a look at this card. This card, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely beautiful. And if you are a follower of the Pokemon trading card game, this card should look a little bit familiar. It is the new version of Celebration Fanfare. And I kind of dig this. I love this card. Now, this card is basically given out over in Japan to players that achieve a certain number of points. You go to events, you get points. The bar isn't that high. Quite a lot of these are given out. But you need to go to a bunch of events and get a bunch of points in order to actually get this card. There is some effort involved. This is not going to be the most difficult thing in the world to get hold of, let's be clear. But it is still a card that you have to put a bit of effort in to go and get, which is lovely. Now, basically, you need to get 30 to 79 points based on, events up to and including August the 31st, 2025, so until the end of this month. And if you got enough points, you get yourself the Celebration Fanfare. This. Oh, cool. And here's the thing, right? This card, I need you all to have a look at this card and just realize quite what a wonderful job Pokemon have actually done here with the artwork on this card. Because you look at this card and you're like, this is wonderful. Lots of different Pokemon have been shown off here. They're celebrating a bunch of different Pokemon. This is rather lovely. And then you look a little bit further and you go, hang on a second. Dragault's on there. Dragault has been one of the most playable cards in the Pokemon team, maybe the most playable card in the Pokemon TCG this season. Is that a coincidence? No, absolutely not. Dragault earned its way onto the artwork of this card by being amazing. And then you look a little bit further and you go, oh, hang on a second, there's a Badoo on there. That Badoo from Prismatic Evolution, that's been a pretty big deal this year, turning off item cards, doing its thing. That's actually been pretty relevant. Then you look at Clefairy and you go, oh yeah, Lily's Clefairy has been, really the Dragault counter this year, but Lily's Clefairy has still been a good card, seeing a whole bunch of play, so that makes sense on there. And then you see Darumaka, and you go, well, you know what? N-Star Manatan has actually been, not on the level of something like a Dragapult, for instance, but it's still been very, very relevant. Now, I will concede that when you look at Mewtwo, you can look at Team Rocket's Mewtwo, and I think the designers thought Team Rocket's Mewtwo was going to be better than Team Rocket's Mewtwo actually ended up being. We've been here for a while at this stage. We kind of know what's going on. Team Rocket's Mewtwo, not that good a card. Hasn't actually really done very much competitively. And then we got Ho-Oh. And I think kind of Ho-Oh sits there very much in the same place as Mewtwo. Ethan's Ho-Oh, lot of potential, seemed like a very good card. Wasn't actually all that good in the end, but was the poster child for Hot Air Arena, which is one of the big cards of this year, or sets of this year. So every Pokemon on the artwork is either a Pokemon which was, the key part of the set, I'm looking at you, Ho-Oh and Mewtwo, or a card that's made a really big competitive impact. Now, I'll tell you, Pikachu, to be fair, Pikachu's on the card because there's absolutely no way they were leaving Pikachu off. The Pikachu from Surging Sparks has seen play. It's been all right. It's made it into a bunch of decks. If you want just a terrestrial Pokemon to activate something like Noctowl, for instance, this is your best bet, because it's a basic, but it's got an ability that stops it being one-hit KO'd. So if you're just looking for like a general terrestrial Pokemon, this is actually your dude. But outside of that, he's not been great. But they're still good enough, I think, to get on there. And I just love that. I think the attention to detail here is wonderful. For what it's worth, if you get up to 80 points or above, you do also get an alternate art Scizor EX. That's cool. We like this. It's a nice little bonus. It's an alternate art of the one from Temporal Forces, but it is... There were those decks over in Hong Kong and Taiwan that had all the alternate artwork, so this is that one. This is Japan's way of ending up getting this card. It's alright. Fine. I wanted this to be good. I think we've been around at this stage for long enough to go, no, that has not ended up being very good. But never mind, there's an alternate art which is only available if you've got 80 points or more. Okay, that's kind of cool. There's also sleeves. You have to be top 500 for these sleeves. Now, I don't think the sleeves are that nice, personally. I think they're fine. I think they're okay. That's not the point. The point is these sleeves are only available to the top 500 masters. Top 250 seniors, if anyone's wondering. But top 500 masters. So even though I don't really like the design of them that much, the fact that they're only given to the top 500 makes me immediately want to go, oh, yeah, now I want them. Not because they're particularly great or anything, but anytime sleeves are limited to 500 in the world, that makes me pretty excited and want to get hold of those sleeves. And some people are going to have them, and that's going to be lovely. Do remember that last year, Pokemon started giving out the player rewards outside of Japan, or outside of Asia. They've been in other Asian territories for a while. But they started giving them out to other people last year. They started making them available in the West. So I'm not saying this will be. I'm saying it's incredibly likely. We should do a little bit of a comparison quickly, shouldn't we? Because it seems rude if we don't. So here's what Celebration Fanfare 2024 looked like. And you'll notice things like Teal Mask, Ogapon, and Golden Go, very playable cards. Here's what 2023 looked like. You'll notice there's a, you got pre-evolutions of Baxcalibur and Gardevoir, and then you've got Miraidon on there. So again, we are talking pretty playable. Here's what 2022 looked like. And here's what 2021 looked like. And I really enjoy looking at these cards because they're clearly made quite a bit in advance. And they're clearly supposed to be the good competitive cards. So I always find it funny when you see a card on there that doesn't really make sense. Essentially, it's because the card designers thought the card was going to be much better. Take Meowscarada on 2023, for example. It just means the card designers thought Meowscarada was going to be really good, and it didn't turn out to be that good. But I am 100% convinced that is essentially why these weirder Pokemon get on the sleeves, because the card designers thought they were going to be better than they actually ended up being. There's a little nugget for you. Now, one more thing we need to have a quick chat about here. There's another one of those EX boxes, which has made its way out. Well, it's not made its way out yet, but is making its way out. We've got the Hydreigon and Dragault EX Premium Collection, which has gone and been revealed. Now, I'm in a couple of different minds about this. We talked about these a bunch, so this isn't getting its own video. It gets popped in with Celebration Fanfare, but it is something we need to mention. So let's do a pros and cons list. Let's start with the bad stuff. These aren't promos. The Dragapult EX, it's just the one from Twilight Masquerade. It's not even got a stamp. Same with the Hydreigon, doesn't even have a stamp, straight reprint. Okay. That's bad. And you know these kind of products tend to be priced with the fact they've got promos included, and that is built into the price. So you add that all up and you go, oh, this is going to be a little bit expensive and doesn't have exclusives in. That's a bad thing. Okay. But there's some bonuses here. What bonuses do we have? Well, the Jumbo Dragapult's new. That is a new exclusive thing that we've never seen before. There's a win. And actually, remember how like 2 minutes ago, I was telling you how Dragapult's been maybe the most playable card of the entire season? It's kind of rad having it as a promo. Like, if you're going to give me cards which are straight reprints with nothing new, Give me super playable cards that are straight reprints with nothing new. I would rather they were alternate art. If they couldn't be alternate art, I'd rather they had a stamp. This is kind of like the lowest level of okay, fine, but it is a very playable card. Hydreigon a bit, maybe less so. And these kind of things do tend to go on sale. I feel like on sale, this is going to be where it thrives. Pack selection, we got 5 packs of Surging Sparks and 5 packs of Twilight Masquerade. And actually, I keep telling you guys this, Twilight Masquerade is massively underrated as a set. And Surging Sparks did end up being a pretty good set. So it's not a ridiculous pack selection, I'm not pretending it is. But this is actually a decent little pack selection. And you've got really playable promos, or at least one of them. And we got a new jumbo. I see this as fine. I think if it goes on sale, if you see this Black Friday or whatever, then it becomes really good. But I think overall this one is one of the better ones. The lack of alternate art, the lack of new promos honestly makes me sad. I really wish they'd stop doing them where they're just reprints. Even the stamped ones aren't that great. But as far as it goes, if you're gonna do that stuff, this is at least on the higher level of it. So there we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about Celebration Fanfare for this year. Tell me what you think about this new box. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And do remember, please, that the new YouTube algorithm makes comments and likes much more important than before. So if you could leave a comment and a like, that would be amazing. And we need to finish, as we always do, with a shout out to one of our patrons over on patreon.com/PTCG Radio. So massive shout out to Smash Cafe, who's been supporting for a while and seems lovely. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.